Whew. Already out of breath from just setting up the camera. The most basic things already take our breath away. Because now we are in Cuenca, in the mountains, the Andes Mountains here in Ecuador, and the height is?
Around 8,000 feet or 2,500 meters. And it is quite high for us, especially because we came from sea level at the ocean. And a 7-hour car ride brought us here 2 days ago.
So whenever you see this video, it will be more than 2 days, but at the time of filming, it's been 2 days, so we are still acclimating to the new altitude, to the higher altitude. And usually it takes about 1 or 2 weeks. When we first came to Ecuador several months ago and we landed in Quito, it's even higher than here. And even after 3 weeks, we could not fully adjust to the new altitude. So fingers crossed that it happens earlier here, because we are here now as well for the arrival of the baby. It sounds terrible, in my opinion, for Bre to be out of breath while giving birth. It's already so intense, and then having the shortness of breath in addition does not sound fun. So I hope that you can adjust and that it will be okay.
It's all good. I feel pretty confident about it, and I'm happy that we're here at least a couple of weeks before the estimated due date, so I can adjust a little bit better.
Maybe I can feed you some more coca leaves and then we'll be okay. I'm not sure if it's pregnancy safe, so don't take this as any advice.
Yeah, I'm not going to eat coca leaves.
We are now here in Cuenca for the arrival of the baby. We're getting everything ready. We're meeting the whole team for the birth very soon, and we go over all the details with the birth plan and everything that we have planned. And we're just setting up a nest and getting ready for his arrival. And so we wanted to take the opportunity real quick with this video to kind of give a short wrap up of the last few months in Ecuador with our last retreats that we taught, then give you a little bit of our intention for the new year, for 2022, and also show you around the city a little bit and talk a little bit more about Cuenca and what we're doing here. So the videos that are coming on YouTube now are a little bit out of order. I will do my best to put them in the order that makes most sense, so that not in 6 months there will be a video all of a sudden with the belly again. You're like, hey, what's happening there?
And then of course all the comments like, oh, you're pregnant again.
Exactly.
It's just
so
confusing.
We filmed a lot of content ahead, so we can slow down a bit, which we will talk about more later. But we have lots of content already filmed and edited for the next several months. So the order might be a little bit confusing, but it's all good.
We already gave you a pretty good overview and a wrap up kind of 2021 from last year during our live stream that we did in December with the gender reveal. So we already touched on a lot of topics and things that we released in 2021. But we thought we would kind of wrap up our retreats, and we ended up teaching 5 of them in the last 7 months.
Amazing.
So amazing, so good. Of course, little hiccups here and there with logistics.
Some people couldn't come because for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
And we had to fill the spots real quick, and luckily people came that wanted to come short notice and like, yeah, I want to come to Mexico, I want to come to Ecuador next week. Let's do it. So amazing that we could fill all the spots. All the retreats were sold out. We had, in summary, we had Mexico in July, Austria in September. And then we had 3 retreats in Ecuador. We had end of November, end of December, and end of January. So the last retreat just ended a little bit more than a week ago, and we had some time to relax and slow down.
Overall, the retreats were phenomenal. So much fun, so much love, so much learning, lots of hugs, and the community vibe that we really have been missing. Usually it's just Flo and I when we are traveling and visiting different cities. Yeah, we'll connect with someone over coffee or go on a little hike here and there, but it's very different from having 20 or 30 people gathered around a fireplace and everyone singing songs and giving blessings and having ceremonial outfits and just the beautiful experience of gathering together as a community. And it's really untouchable and something that is absolutely mandatory for humans to be healthy. And so we're really grateful that we're able to have that at all of our retreats, because in 2020 we had to cancel 4 or 5 of our retreats. We had to immediately cancel all of them. So this past year was just amazing.
Some people have been practicing with us for a long time. They were one of the first subscribers, one of the first people on Patreon, And it's really special for us to meet these people in person that have been supporting us from the very beginning, where really not much was going on in the beginning. And we will do a separate video about this whole topic, how we started teaching and how everything grew and how everything evolved. But it's nice to meet these people that have been there from almost day one, from the very beginning, and to meet them in person and practice with them and share a few things with them. It was just fantastic. And also so many friendships formed during the retreats, as you saw in the previous video that we posted about the Baños adventure, where we also went to the mountain, where people then after the retreats hang out together and go travel together. So it's great to connect like-minded people because they already have at least yoga and traveling in common.
And if you were not able to attend the retreats or not able to join us live, then we also have a really incredible community of very like-minded people on our Discord server. So you can check in the description below and head there. And you'll also be connected with almost 2,000 people who are in the Breathe and Flow community there and ready to support you on your journey as well.
So of course this is not the end of the retreats or the end of teaching live. This is just for this year because a lot of things will change this year. We will of course continue teaching online. There will still be videos coming, still videos on Patreon. We will still launch a ton of stuff. So you might think, what you guys talk about was slowing down, but we've worked ahead a lot so we can then take the time to take it a bit easier. But regarding live events, we have no live events planned for the rest of 2022. We mentioned the teacher training a lot and it's still planned to happen, but we have nothing available to book yet. We have not reserved any venue or something because also it's so far away and the times are still very dynamic, and we also want to see how it all goes with the little one. And then if we decide it's just too much and we maybe just really enjoy being with the baby, then we will also just do that and just spend the time with the baby and just take it easy, and then everything will continue in the years after. So we prioritize work over really everything else. And this was necessary at this time, but we also do not want to do this forever. So now that everything is going well and we have the good momentum, we will just keep it going and slow down a lot. We can continue to practice. There's new content, of course, available for you. So we are in this for the long run. We will be teaching for the rest of our life. Even though we say no events this year, there will be more for the next years and the next decades to come. We have still huge goals for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, and also for the rest of our life. But we also realize that there's no reason to rush. We don't want our 5-year goals, for example, to happen this year already. We want them to be in 5 years or in 10 years, because if it all was now, it would be so overwhelming. We would just be drowned and didn't know what to do with ourselves. So everything is growing and people are practicing. We have almost 75,000 people now practicing with us every single day, almost 2 million in a month. So this is a lot of people that we are reaching with our practices, doing the breath work, doing the meditation, doing the movement, doing something good for themselves. And that hopefully it sets them up for a good day and for a good life. We're not chasing the numbers that much when we're not trying to grow it to a certain extreme. We just want to have a nice rhythm so we can also maintain it for a long time, for the rest of our life, in fact. And so, what's the rush? We're slowing down a lot now.
We're not just trying to pump out a bunch of videos to get a bunch of views. We still are taking the time to continue our education, to do our training so that we can still provide quality content. It's not just another Vinyasa Flow yoga class. We already have 300 of them on the channel.
We worked for 5 or 10 years purposely to get to this point where we do not have to go back to an office job and then give the baby to someone else that we don't really know what they're teaching the baby, how they're treating it, what's their methodology of raising a child. And so we saw this coming, that someday we will have kids. And we said, okay, we want to work now, every day, to get to this point where we have this freedom to be with the baby and be with the children all the time. Because it's also kind of temporary. Of course, they're your kids forever, but once they're grown up, they leave the house and then it's just... So we want to appreciate this time and also teach them our way of life and our perspective and our views.
Exactly.
So this is not to explain ourselves why we're doing the things we're doing. This is more to hopefully inspire you, that if you are now in your 20s and you maybe want to have kids someday and you have this dream of this should be a certain way, then the time to work towards this dream is today and tomorrow and every single day. And so what actions are you doing today? And those actions will determine how your tomorrow will look. And we like to say that the way you spend your days is the way you spend your life. So it's a nice invitation to reflect how you're spending your days. Are you happy with it? Great. If not, then you should change it. And so we hope to inspire you a little bit with this long talk about this whole topic. What happened?
My legs fell asleep. Time for lunch.
Now we're off to explore a little bit and also grab lunch along the way. So we'll show you a little bit of Cuenca. It's also the first time for us being in the city. So we will share the experience with you. Are you hungry?
Yes.
Are you hungry or is the baby hungry?
A little bit of both, but I think it's mostly the baby. Buon provecho.
Lunch was amazing. Great vegan restaurants here in the city. First time exploring the city today. We really like it. The rivers are super nice and there's buses, there's little trains inside the city, which is also very nice that they have such good public transportation. And what's also really nice, you can walk everywhere. That's something I really miss from a lot of cities that we visit, especially in the US, for example. You have to drive everywhere, and so this is more like in Europe where you can just walk everywhere.
Last stop before we go home is finding a vegan dessert place. Hopefully chocolate brownie.
Chocolate brownie, chocolate fudge,
Flo.
chocolate cake, bring it on, everything chocolate, I'm down.
You think that you're the pregnant one?
No, yeah, I mean, usually I don't like chocolate.
He's lying.
Well, let's go home now to continue the story about our birth plan.
The birth plan does not include giving birth on the stairs. I'm ready to take a taxi and head back up to the Airbnb. Let's talk about the birth plan. We will keep this short and sweet and not make this entire video all about the birth plan, but we do get a lot of questions about this, and I'm also very excited for what we have planned. As we said already, we're here in Cuenca. We booked this Airbnb, which is very lovely and has all of the things that we would need. And we do plan on having a home birth. So in this case, it will be an Airbnb birth. And we emailed the owners of the Airbnb as soon as we booked it. And we're like, full transparency, we plan on giving birth in your Airbnb. Is this okay? And they wrote back and they were super thrilled and super polite about it. They've actually had several other births here, including their own home birth a few years ago. And it's probably because there's a really amazing midwife that has a birthing center that's close by, and it's actually the same midwife that we have. So it, I guess, is the Airbnb home birth house that we coincidentally found.
Should be another attribute in the listing. Has Wi-Fi, has AC, and also suitable for birth. For a long time we didn't really know exactly how we're gonna do it or where.
We knew we wanted a home birth.
We knew home birth, so we knew no hospital unless it's really necessary to go there. Of course, you have a plan and things might change, so we're open to that too. We're not naive about it, but we want to go with a good intention, a strong intention, and strong prayers for a natural birth.
After a few months of exploring around Ecuador to try to find a midwife and a doula and a birthing team that could support us on this home birth vision that we had, then around month 7, just right before our last retreat, we finally were able to find and lock in a really good midwife here who's also an OBGYN. And the only sort of downfall is that she does not speak any English. So we do have a doula as well who speaks both English and Spanish. And so the two of them are gonna be with us during the birth, and their birthing center is also only 10 minutes away, and also private hospitals are close by. So if we do need to go in for a C-section, then we're close by and we still feel very supported. I honestly spent the first few months of the pregnancy feeling terrified and nervous about giving birth, and not so much about giving birth in a foreign country because we kind of assumed that was going to happen. We would be somewhere outside of either Germany or the US. So it wasn't so much that, it was more so just me understanding what's going on in my body and trusting that I can give birth. naturally and without medication and pain medication, because there's just so many things out there that tell you how terrible of an experience birth is. So I've been like, you know, conditioned for this my whole life, that birth is going to be something that has to be terrible and painful and stressful, and all of these like negative connotations around what birth has to be. And the more that we sort of learned about it and started researching more, there's some incredible documentaries as well. And once I took a lot of birthing classes, and I took a couple different hypnobirthing courses as well, then I learned more about the natural, incredible ability of the female body to give birth and actually have the experience be blissful and beautiful and ecstatic and transformative as you like move through this rite of passage. It could even be orgasmic. All of these things that I never actually thought of and associated when I thought of birth. So after taking all of these courses for the past few months, and also finding our midwife and our doula and the Airbnb and being here in the cooler temperature, like everything combined all together, just finally we're able to relax into it and be super excited about the birth.
I have no idea how Brie is doing all of it and how she's growing the baby, and with the womb technology that the women have, it's absolutely amazing and mind-blowing, and I will just do the best I can to support her so that it's a little bit easier on her. We know it's not gonna be, or doesn't have to be, easy and smooth, and it can be very intense, it will be intense. Things can go in a different way than we have planned. We might have to leave and go to a hospital and do all the things, and we have this intention, the things we want to manifest and attract, and we have this plan, but we also know that it's open, and we're open for change as well. But we're not just going into it that this is the only way because this is how other people do it, or I don't know, whatever we would think. And we informed ourselves that there's many different ways, and there's even way more intense ways of doing it with no support, and you're just at home alone, just a woman and the partner, or even just a woman by herself. Free birth, yeah. And it's also a very natural and very traditional way. A lot of people here in the Amazon do this in the jungle, and there's just different ways. There's not only one way, and we try to inform ourselves a lot about many different ways and figured out the one that works best for Brie. She decided all of it. I just said, okay, whatever you want, we do it. Whatever, wherever, however. You are the one doing it. I will support whatever decision you're doing. So long story short, this is what we're doing. What's the plan? We will inform you how we actually did it once the baby is there. So this will be the last video, I think, with the belly, talking about the birth, pre-birth, and then the next video where we talk about this kind of topic will be with the baby in our hand. And then we can tell you how it really went.
Yeah, exactly. So I, of course, have been collecting a bunch of resources and all the stuff that I've been reading, the documentaries I've been watching, the books, the websites, the articles, the courses, all of this. So right now it's literally just a brain dump hodgepodge of like hundreds of things. So as we continue to move through the birth and over the next few months, I'll put together everything very nicely and concise and in a nice little package and throw it up on our website so that you can have all the resources there. This isn't to withhold information from you, it's just that it's also our first time doing it. We want to see what works well and what didn't work well, and what resources ended up actually being useful versus maybe resources or books that I read that didn't help so much. In summary, we are super excited and we feel really prepared and really relaxed and really ready to meet this little one soon. Any day now he can come, and now that we're here in the Airbnb and we've settled in, then I am ready for it every day. And
we were just hoping, don't come during the retreat. And then the retreat was over, and then we made our way up here, and now that we're here, it's okay. If he comes tonight, then it's okay.
Exactly. I would say that the entire pregnancy I've been feeling really amazing and just so grateful for all of that and how good I've been feeling in my body. No nauseousness or anything really
yeah, she kept telling me sometimes she forgot that she's pregnant, and then all of a sudden she looks down and like, oh yeah, I have this belly. Or she opens the drawer and all of a sudden the drawer goes into the belly, like, oh yeah, I forgot there's a belly there.
Yeah.
So very funny, because if you just remove at least in my opinion, if you remove the belly, everything else still looks normal, you know? It's like if you see her from here up, yeah, you wouldn't even notice. So it's been a reflection of a good lifestyle and good intentions and good thoughts, staying positive, and we are very blessed that it's so smooth on you. Also makes it smooth on me. I have to take care a little bit less.
I think the hardest day I've had for the entire pregnancy was 2 days ago when we drove from the coast here up to the mountains, because the elevation is so high and we had so much crap in the car. We had extra luggage and everything for the baby, so I was pretty compact in the car and very uncomfortable in my body, and the baby actually flipped breech a couple days ago, so he was actually laying transverse at one point basically all day yesterday and during the drive up the mountain. So I was probably the most uncomfortable I have ever been in my pregnancy. And yeah, so the next few days we're taking it easy, going on more walks and meeting with the birthing team tomorrow and coming up with solutions to get him to flip again. But besides that is really the only hiccup that I've experienced so far in the pregnancy, and we are sure everything will go very smoothly and it'll all work out as it's intended to work out. So
as always.
Yeah. And that's it for our birth plan. Like I said, we'll share more of the resources on our website, but that's really all we can share for now.
We'll see you in the next one. Love and gratitude. Peace.